Hey guys, welcome back to another video. On this video, we are going to talk about radio button. Radio button is a widget that allows us to select one option from multiple options. I think you might have heard about this in web development if you know basics of HTML, CSS. So anyway, let's see that in Android. Let me just close all these activities apart from this main activity, and we don't need this edit text anymore. And to create radio buttons, we are gonna create two radio buttons which will select the sex of a human, either male or female. Okay, so to do that we need first of all we need a radio group widget. In radio group I'm gonna uh, give wrap content, and ID of this will be radio radio group. And okay, and inside the radio group tag we'll need two radio buttons. So radio button, one for male and another for female, and the ID of this will be ID male, and text will be male. Then we need another radio button. I'm just gonna copy this and I'll paste it here. Let me change the ID to female and text to female. Then we'll give the constraint to radio group, which will be horizontally in parent, and we'll give a top constraint and drag that down. Let me go to design and do that here. Radio group, I'll give constraint and margin top 100 dp, so it comes from till down. So yeah, we have male and female radio buttons on the screen now. So now let's go to our Kotlin file, and we don't need this intent, so let me just remove this code for now. We don't have this edit text anymore, so we don't need it as well. So first of all we'll need a variable for our radio group. So radio group, and we'll have to initialize that with find you by id. Radio group of type radio group, find view by id il.id dot radio group. Now we don't directly fetch the radio button by find view by id and give id of male and female of radio button. Instead of that, inside this button click we'll take another variable type integer. We'll name it checked id and equals to radio group dot checked radio button id. What this will do, inside radio group we have two radio buttons. We can have multiple radio buttons, as many we want, right? So we have two radio buttons inside this radio group. Now suppose I select the radio button that has male id. Then when I select that, what this will do, it will fetch that id of male radio button, and it will save that id to this variable. Then again, whichever radio button I select from this radio group, this method will fetch the selected radio button's id and save that in this variable, right? So we have the id of the radio button in this variable, the id of the radio button that we have selected. Now we want to fetch the text of that selected radio button. So to do that, we first have to get to that radio button. Basically we have to call find view by id, right? So now I'll take another variable equals to find view by id of type radio button, and I'll pass checked id inside it. So now we have an id of selected radio button in this variable. So now we'll toast directly the value of that radio button's text inside toast method. This, then the value will be sex.text. Text. Yeah. And toast dot length long dot show. And now if we run our program application, let's see how it builds itself and how this radio button works. Okay, so our application is run. Now if I select male and click this button, it will toast male text on the screen, and if I select female, it will toast the female text on the screen. So this is how radio button works with a radio group. So that's it for this video. In the next video we'll see check buttons, and yeah, that's it for this video. See you guys in the next video.